in what is probably one of the dumbest, worst written scenes of the entire series of Game of Thrones so far. And that's saying a lot, because this season has already been a really, really badly written season. The death of my favorite character, Littlefinger, has got to be one of the most badly written deaths I think we've ever seen in the show. Not only just because of the scene itself, but because of all the amazing opportunities they just completely wasted, and how they've just totally destroyed an amazing character who was pretty much the only unique character that we have left on the show. But look, what are they doing? I don't know. Alright, let's break it down. Okay, Littlefinger, memorize these words. I demand a trial by combat. Say it with me. I demand a trial by combat. 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 Come on, Littlefinger, seriously. Every time Tyrion's in trouble, he does that. You didn't even know to do that? Weren't you there when he had his big moment when he did that? Come on. Try, Littlefinger, just try. And not only did you not say that, I mean, you're the Lord of the Vale. Don't you actually, you can demand just a legitimate trial, can't you? I mean, I can understand peasants might not get fair trials in Westeros, but you're a lord. You can demand a proper legal trial. And they're just like, nah, bugger that. Bran says you're guilty, and that's all the evidence we need. This guy, who none of us even really know what the hell is wrong with him, he seems like a nutcase, but we're just going to completely believe that you're guilty just because he says so. I mean, I don't think that's going to hold up in a court of law. I mean, even if he could pull the memory out of his brain Harry Potter style and project it on a wall so that everyone could see, I just don't see how that's enough to condemn him to death. And wasn't it supposed to be the Stark thing that if you pass the sentence, you carry it out? But here, I guess Sansa didn't bother to do that because she's got plot armor on her. Yeah, they're trying to build her up as the big, strong, independent woman who totally failed to free herself from Ramsay Bolton in any way, needed Theon to save her, to get her out of the castle, and then needed Brienne of Tarth to save her from the wolves and protect her again, and then needed Jon Snow to actually defeat Ramsay in the end anyway. It's just, yeah, so that's why Littlefinger has been dumbed down over the last couple seasons to try to build up Sansa Stark, who can't bloody even... And if Bran can see everything, if he's basically got God vision at this time, which, by the way, writers, great to have a character like that. It's really a good way for you to just throw in exposition bombs and just get yourself out of any writing corner that you can stupidly write yourself into. Now you've got a God character out there who just sees everything. Yeah, good on you guys. Just call him Deus Ex Machina or something. But if he can see everything, and he can see him holding a knife to Ned Stark's throat, can he see everything that went up before that? Can he see that Littlefinger actually was trying to help Ned? He was actually giving him good advice. He was actually trying to help him to survive the situation, the change of rulership to come from Robert to Joffrey. He was actually trying to help him, but Ned Stark was such a dumbass, he completely ballsed it up, so Littlefinger did what he had to do to survive. He's not going to go down with a sinking ship. So did you see any of that, Bran? Did you see any of that? Do you maybe want to help him out with that? And Sansa, oh no, you threw my auntie through the moon door. Yeah, because she was about to throw you through the moon door. Sansa, you were right there. Do you not remember that? She was about to kill you. He saved your life. Why are you not mentioning that right now? Is that not relevant if you're about to pass a death sentence to someone? Why are you not mentioning that? Oh, because it doesn't fit in with what the writers want to do with your character, where you're the new good guy. Because everything's so clear-cut in Game of Thrones now. We've got all of the good guys literally on one side, and all of the bad guys literally on the other side. There's only one character that we do kind of like, who's on the bad people side, and I'm sure he's on his way over to the good people side right now anyway. Littlefinger that I know, as soon as Bran Stark said to him a couple episodes ago, chaos is a ladder, and repeated his words back to him, he'd be out of there. He'd be so gone. Why is he even in Castle Black at this point anyway? Oh, because he loves Sansa, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, he can do that from the Vale, okay? He doesn't need to have his head in the noose there at Castle Black. He's had so many moments leading up to this where he thought, maybe I should leave for a while, let everyone simmer down, and then wait until they need me and they can come back and get me. Plus, in the books, there is this whole thing about how there's, I'm sure book nerds will set me straight if I get this wrong, but there's something special about the actual dirt, the soil in the ground near the Vale. It's something that only the old gods can see what happens there, no other gods can see there. So they could write it in a way that the Vale, what happens on that location, Bran can't see it. They could do something like that so that he could go there and be invisible to Bran, and it'd actually be interesting. But no, let's just have him stay there for many, many episodes when it makes absolutely no sense. There's so many great things they still could have used Littlefinger for to bring into the show. Like if he had demanded a trial by combat, he could have done something interesting. Like in the past, like the Mad King during a trial by combat, he named his champion Fire. Littlefinger could have thought up something crafty like that. Or imagine if Littlefinger had said, I demand a trial by combat, and they said, well, who's your champion? And he said, the Night King. Ask him when he arrives. Imagine that. That'd buy him loads of time, and you could maybe even weave it in as an actual duel somehow. You could have Azor Ahai fighting the Night King, or maybe it could be a showdown between Bran and the Night King. They both seem to, like the Night King does seem to sort of know everything in the same way that Bran does. And you know, I actually foolishly thought that they were setting up Littlefinger as like a mini boss that Bran would have to go up against that would lead up to his big battle with the Night King, since they both have God vision thing. Because Bran's completely overpowered now that he knows absolutely everything that has ever happened or will ever happen. How are you going to keep that power in check? Well, in that episode where Littlefinger said to Sansa, try to imagine all scenarios happening at all times and plan accordingly, and the very next scene has Bran saying the same thing, saying, I can see all things happening at all times. And I thought, oh great, Littlefinger's going to be his kryptonite. He's going to be the thing that kind of keeps his power in check, that's the antagonist pushing back against Bran to stop him from becoming too powerful, so that it doesn't suck all the fun out of the show, because we got a guy right there who can just solve everything immediately. He's like Professor X, basically. He's even in a wheelchair like Professor X. But no, not going to happen now. And you know, there was so much more to Littlefinger's character than what they showed in the show. He just got dumbed down more and more as the seasons went on. I think his character was actually too smart for the actual writers and they didn't know what to do with him. But you know, like for example, they mentioned early on, way back in season 1, when he first met Ned Stark, he mentioned that he got a scar from like chest all the way down to hip by Ned Stark's older brother because he challenged him to a duel to try to get Catelyn's hand in marriage. We never saw the scar. Why didn't we ever see the scar? If there was just one scene where we see Peter Baelish maybe getting up in the morning and he's got his shirt off and we see this huge grisly scar all the way down his chest, that would really humanize his character. We'd really see, wow, he really did love Catelyn. He came so close to death, trying to win her hand in marriage. It shows there's something more there to him than just being evil all the time, being a cartoon villain, but he just became a cartoon villain in the end. And that's all we have now. All we have is cartoon villains. The show used to be interesting because it'd be filled with complex people who were layered. You know, we had people like Ned Stark who were the good guys, but they had so many faults to them that would drive you insane that they would just act the way they were. And then there were people who were evil, like Tywin Lannister, yet he had a lot of good qualities to him, and you could see he really was kind of holding the whole kingdoms together, and he was the only one who could keep control of Joffrey, really. But all those characters are gone now. Littlefinger was the last of those characters who was like a mixture of good and bad, and was intelligent enough that could like shift the Game of Thrones. He was the last one who was actually playing the Game of Thrones, really. Now there's nobody left. There's no other characters. The only other character that's kind of complex, or at least used to be complex, is Jaime Lannister, because we all started out hating him, but then we kind of liked him. But now he's just a generic good guy. I mean, if they had him do something evil to like switch him back the other way to make him complex again, like maybe if he kills his brother to sort of prove himself to Cersei, like that'd be amazing. Yeah, then he'd actually become an interesting character again. But there are no interesting characters. It's also, it's just not interesting anymore. It's so simplistic. Like it's just the good guys versus the bad guys. It's so stupid, so stupid. And for me, just the death of Littlefinger is like the full stop on that. I seriously doubt there's going to be any big surprises in this show from now on. And oh god, the bloody Mary Sues, I'm so sick of everyone just smelling the farts of Dany all the time about, oh, you're different. Oh, you're different. She's not. She's not different. She's not special at all. She's different because she has dragons. That's the only thing that makes her different. That's the only reason she's even here. She's not interesting in the least. The book Daenerys is like, you don't know whether she actually is like can actually be a good ruler, or whether she's the Mad Queen, whether she's just crazy like she's going to be the Mad Queen. And it hangs on that knife edge between there. But with this one, she has a few moments where she goes a little bit too far, but come on, we all know she's good. We all know she's going to be good in the end. There's no tension there. And she hasn't earned any of this. And Jon Snow, well, at least he's earned this stuff, but he's the one-dimensional hero now. And he's got the main character powers. God, the main character powers. He comes back from the dead, and then he falls in the ice, and it's like, oh no, he's gonna die. Shut up, we know he's not gonna die. We know he's never gonna die. We know he's gonna survive. We know he's gonna marry Dany. We know they're gonna beat the White Walkers together and then beat Cersei. We know they're gonna rule together and start a new Targaryen dynasty, and that the whole thing's gonna be told by Sam, and we're going to have Sam writing in a book the Game of Thrones in the Citadel, just like at the end of bloody The Hobbit. That's what it is. Exactly what George R.R. Martin didn't want the show to be. That's what it's going to become. And it's just sad. It's just sad. And bloody Mary Sue Arya Stark, she's out there flipping around like super ninja style fighting Brienne of Tarth. How the hell did she learn to do that? Oh, she got trained as a faceless man. No, she didn't. We saw what happened when she was there. She screwed up her very first mission, then she was blind, then she got her ass kicked for a couple of episodes, then she managed to pull out a fluke victory over the assassin that was sent there to kill her, then she left. She didn't actually get taught anything. I could not believe it at the start of this episode when she shows up and she's like already like wearing different faces and posing as anyone. And I'm like, how the hell did she learn to do that? Nobody showed her how to do that. If maybe when she left like that assassin training center at the end of like the last season, the guy's like, okay, you've proven yourself. Now I'm going to start training you. Then the season starts like this. We could assume she got trained in between the seasons, but that didn't happen. She just walked out. So she never got any training, but now you want to say that she's totally ninja super assassin? She was never taught any of that stuff. She was literally mopping floors for pretty much the entire time she was there. And they did the same thing with Dany. It's like, oh, she's gonna stay here in Slaver's Bay for a season because she's gonna learn how to rule. And then by the end of it, yeah, she's learned how to rule. That's why she's going to Westeros. No, she didn't. She completely screwed it up. The whole thing was a massive disaster. The only reason she got out of there alive is because she did what she always does when she gets in trouble, which is call in the eagles. Call in the dragons. That's what she does. That's all she ever does. That's all you are, Dany. And why the hell does the ice dragon, how is, just think about this for a minute. How is a white dragon breathing ice breath able to bring down the wall? Wouldn't frost breath actually make the wall stronger? I mean, the wall is made of ice, right? So if you breathe ice breath on an ice wall, it'd actually make it stronger. It wouldn't take it down. Oh no, you see, it's actually he's breathing fire. It's just blue fire. No, it isn't. Okay? Because White Walkers are killed by fire. So if that was a White Walker dragon that breathes fire, even if it is colored blue, he's going to explode. He's just going to burst into flames instantly as soon as he tries to use his breath. So it cannot be flames. It has to be like an ice breath. Otherwise, he would just explode. So how does he bring down the wall? I don't know. God, this bloody show. It's so goddamn terrible. Yeah, it's been very apparent for a couple of seasons now that as soon as George R.R. Martin left helping with the writing of the show, the quality just went down and down and down, and I don't know, I think I might be at a breaking point. I don't know, but people do say that a lot with shows, but I don't know if I'm going to really bother watching the next couple episodes when they come back. I think I might just, watch like reviews of episodes on YouTube, and if it looks like it's picking up, then I might get back into it, but I don't feel like I need to, because I feel like I know where the show goes, and now that Littlefinger's died, there's not really any interesting complex characters left. It's all just the good guys, the bad guys. There's just nothing. It's boring. Well, that really got out of hand with all that ranting. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to get it off my chest. But thanks for watching if you made your way through this.